Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Poly.
It's Latin for many.
Tick.
They'll suck your blood. They'll suck.
Politics.
Got hairy legs. Got hairy legs.
We've been blessed with more Biden clips. This is about 2.5 minutes, but it is one of the more interesting 2.5 minutes from Biden's any kind of press thing he's done. He's kind of talking about the Russian sanctions and all that kind of stuff, but this is from the Democratic Caucus from a couple days ago. I'm just going to go ahead and play it here.
The ruble has lost, and I know many of you know this in detail, lost more than half its value. You know what the value of a ruble is versus a dollar? You need 200 rubles to equal $1 today. 200. Moscow Stock Exchange is closed for a simple reason. I get asked, well, why is it closed? Because for the last 2 weeks, because the moment it opens, it will be disbanded. You hear me? It will blow up. Credit rating agencies.
It's going to blow up.
Yeah.
Their stock market is going to blow up. Basil, I don't know what that means.
Disbanded is so specific. Like that means that they will dismantle the organization of their stock exchange.
The Russian stock exchange.
That's different from, just having a crash or a big, disaster. But yeah, weird. It'll blow up. Okay.
It's going to blow up.
Junk status.
Yeah, okay.
Junk status. The list of private business and international corporations leaving Russia is growing day by day by day. I want to be clear, though. We're going to make sure Ukraine has the weapons to defend themselves from invading Russian force.
Weapons. Woo.
And we will send money and food aid to save Ukrainian lives. We're going to welcome Ukrainian refugees with open arms if, in fact, they come all the way here. And as we provide this support to Ukraine, we're going to continue to stand together with our allies in Europe and send an unmistakable message that we will defend every inch of NATO territory, every single inch, with a united, galvanized NATO. One movement. That's why I moved over 12,000 American forces along the borders with Russia, Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, Romania, etc. Because they move once. Granted, if we respond, it is World War III, but we have a sacred obligation on NATO territory, a sacred obligation, Article 5. And we will not, although we will not fight the Third World War in Ukraine. Putin's war against Ukraine was never be a victory. Democrats are rising to meet the moment, rallying the world on the side of peace and security. We're showing the strength and we'll never falter. But look, the idea that we're going to send in offensive equipment and have planes and tanks and trains going in with American pilots and American crews, just understand, and don't kid yourself, no matter what you all say, that's called World War III. Okay? Let's get it straight here, guys. That old expression, don't kid a kidder. Now, I'd like to speak to our broader purpose here today.
The broader purpose of what? He's talking about World War III. What broader purpose is there?
The problem with this clip, it's a great clip, but the problem with it is there's so much to comment on that is so
much.
There's a lot of it that's just erroneous. But yeah, all right. We'll have to leave them as self-evident.
No comment.
We'll just dude, you've been sending billions of dollars of weapons over there, and suddenly you're saying that sending them weapons is a bad thing. Okay. And, we won't fight World War III in Ukraine, but I guess what he's saying is we'll fight World War III in Estonia and Latvia and Lithuania.
Any NATO territory gets 1 inch, then all of a sudden we're in World War III.
Our sacred duty.
Sacred, sacred.
Why is it a sacred duty to defend?
Article 5 or whatever he mentioned. It's written down on paper, the magical paper.
Well, exactly. Thank you for saying that, because I'm usually the one who has to bring it up. But yeah, the point is, it is in the the New World Order legal framework, backed by the magical art of writing from the occult god Thoth, introducing magic into the world. Yes, because it is written down and signed, it becomes a sacred duty, which, I won't go into the whole thing, but you guys know, you know what I'm about to rant on for a half hour, so I'll just avoid it.
Yes, you've done it. You've done it many times before.
So many times.
There are new listeners, then yes,
and I'll do it again in the future for new people. But
we got more clips here, though. We got a couple more. This is Biden. Interestingly enough, using printouts of articles to make his point.
Headline fact checker in the New York Times. Republicans wrongly blame Biden for rising gas prices. And it goes on to explain why gas prices are so high. Washington Post op-ed by Dana Milbank. Opinion, Biden heeded Republicans' plea to ban Russian oil. They pounced. And it goes on to talk about why it's don't let anybody tell you anything you did supporting the idea that we block Russian oil coming into the country, which is going, and I said at the time, prices are going to go up for gasoline. It wasn't anything we did. And by the way, you're in a situation right now where if you take a look, the idea, can we pump more oil? There are there are 172 gas and oil rigs running. Now there are 519 in operation before this all began. But guess what? They have over 7,000 permits to dig oil if they want. Why aren't they out pumping oil? Why aren't they out pumping oil? Because they've said, and they're very clear, Wall Street bankers have made it very clear. Not a joke. Check it out. I recommend these two articles to you just as a little bit of a primer. You probably already know it.
Hey, that's our job.
What's happened? Well, the oil companies and executives, they don't want to pump more oil, although they have every capacity to do so. Nothing is slowing them up from doing it if they want to. Why? Rather than spend the profits in the increased price of gasoline, they would rather take those profits and buy back stock, buy back their own stock, rather than take that money and invest it in pumping new oil. Not a joke. Not a joke.
Oh, say it again.
So don't tell me gas prices rose because I've slowed down the American energy production.
Well, and see, this is funny because nobody here is saying that he slowed down American energy production because he hasn't. And what he's the rock and a hard place that he's stuck between is he's been, he used progressive leftism to become president, or at least that was one aspect of his campaign, to be social justice-y, to act like he cares about the climate, to act like he cares about, climate change and things like this to get installed as president. Yeah. And I've been saying it all along, he doesn't care. He does not care about any of that. He's not a communist. He's not an eco-warrior. He barely is not a racist. In fact, that could even be argued. The fact of the matter is he's just a status quo corporate shill. And he always has been. And he will continue to be. And so he's not lying when he says, I didn't slow down gas production or oil production. In fact, he didn't. In fact, he tried his hardest to increase it because he works for the gas companies. Yeah. And that's not like conspiracy theory or hyperbole. I mean, his family is wrapped up in oil interests all over the world, including Ukraine. So I can't really argue with him there. However, he's feeling a little defensive, isn't he? A little defensive there, Biden.
It's rare to see a president hold up printouts of articles and be like, hey, take a look here, and holding it up like a newspaper. Mm-hmm. It's just a very interesting scene.
Read the news. I love that. The president being like, here, I read this article on HuffPost, and it explains how it's not my fault. So you should read this article about it's not my fault. Just in this world of like the entwined propaganda and mainstream media, if you have your president trying to prove his innocence by showing you an article in the
from
news,
New York Times and Washington Post,
then there's something horribly wrong.
There's something wrong. I got a couple more short clips here just to summarize the rest of the caucus.
Or for a mom to get her kid on the internet to be able to do their homework has to pull in the McDonald's parking lot? I mean, for real. For real. That's what's happening. This law is going to put an end to all of that.
There's
This
that.
law.
This law.
What is this law? What law is he referring to?
You know, his whole, all his stuff, all the stuff he's promoting politically.
You know, the thing.
The thing, yeah. This one may require some earmuffs. If you have young ones, there is a HE double hockey stick in here. But it's our president. So I'm going to play it. We lost Basil. Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, you're back.
It's okay. Just keep moving. If it happens again, just keep the show going.
Sure.
I'll be quiet.
I was just
until I come back.
I was just warning listeners, parents, if you have young ones and you don't want them to hear the HE double hockey stick, this is your warning. But it is our president, so just, you know, I'm going to play it because it's our president.
So guess what? If you, instead of the 200,000 folks with kids with type 1 diabetes, if instead of spending an average of $647 a month for that insulin, as high as $1,000, you're only paying $35. You've saved a hell of a lot of money.
They're clapping for theoretical savings. This didn't actually happen. He's giving a hypothetical situation.
Yeah. Well, it's just strange coming from the president. And then last one here. I don't know. It's just self-explanatory.
Second big reason for inflation is Vladimir Putin. Give me a break. Give me a break.
Give me a break.
Give me a break.
Twice.
It was all there. Yeah. All the things you would expect from the president, all his taglines.
No mention of printing trillions and trillions of dollars.
Oh, no. We're not going to talk about that. Yeah.
That's funny. What does Putin have to do with inflation? I mean, we understand the gas problem, but the gas prices are not due to inflation. What does Putin have to do with inflation? Inflation that's been happening way before this war even started. The answer is nothing, but it is a hypothetical question.